Hello, everyone. Tom Colazzo here, back again. And today we are here to talk about police brutality. Police brutality is a huge problem in today's day and age and continually gets worse. It may seem like you hear about this every day. This issue seems to be an epidemic. Last time we proved that there was a problem using statistics and all other resources available. But this time, today, we are here to dive into the roots of the problem and try to understand just what causes it and how. So, jumping right in, it must be noted that there are many things that cause this issue. And there is because, as I provided last time, there are many aspects that go along with this issue. Many factors. So, some of the broader causes that I will talk about in detail are inadequate training, standards of force, discretion, accountability, and prejudice. Starting off with inadequate training, this is a root cause that may spark some of these police brutality cases that you hear about. In U.S. police department budgets, most funding goes to salaries and equipment, and training is certainly less and is more or less pushed off. This is a recipe for disaster. The training they receive is half their job pretty much, and I'll explain why. The training officers receive is basically the technical parts of using force and how to protect yourself. What most training misses out on is the emotional, psychological, and physiological aspects. This is not good. This is a big part of the job. And it's not all about using your weapons and protecting yourself. You need to also be able to assess situations and react with the right emotions. This cause plays a part to really what causes the hostility between communities and police. Reasonable standards of force is also another cause, and it kind of goes hand in hand with the training that they don't really receive. Standards of force are what the police use in situations to determine, when it's necessary to use it. The problem with this is that there is no real written laws that say when you should or shouldn't use force, and there is no real definition of the standards of force. This pretty much leads to it being all up to the officer's discretion. When the police can make pretty much all the choices in a situation, this is when the corruption and the police brutality really happens. Next up on the list is accountability. This can be seen as a primary cause because sometimes it's like officers receive no consequences for their actions. Many cases of police brutality won't even be investigated. Even less will result in any conviction or penalty. And even when it does, the state will pay whatever fine or settlement they have to. When cases aren't investigated and are constantly covered up, it's hard to really tackle the issue because it happens continually, but no one will talk about it, so there is no real accountability. When the consequences for your actions are minuscule, why wouldn't anyone just keep bending the rules? The last cause I want to address today is prejudice. This is a cause because obviously some officers hold prejudice, and we have not come up with a way to test or weed out the officers that have it. While on the police force, its members should not have anything against the people they are serving, no matter who they are, what they look like. It doesn't matter. And when they do, this is what leads to the main issues. So, I gave you some of the causes, and now with me today, I have my wonderful mother. Say hello, Mom.
Hello.
It's really nice to have you today in your own house. So, my mother is not in the police force and is not a professional regarding this issue, but I brought her today so that we can share the understanding of what the average person knows and thinks about this issue. So, first question, what do you define police brutality as?
I define police brutality as an abuse of their power in when they are performing their jobs. They use excessive power and go outside of the lines trying to justify it.
What have you experienced and or know about this issue?
Well, currently what I know about the issue that has been all over our country is that it's a national epidemic of an issue with police coloring outside the lines. And at they are not being held accountable for their actions when they do that. And it has mostly become a racial issue because our African American people are the ones that seem to be targeted most.
What do you think mainly causes this issue?
I think fear causes this issue to some degree because our police force and our community are not working together with each other and getting to know each other as they should be, and people become afraid.
To you, is police brutality a prevalent issue today? And what are the main sources that contribute most to your opinion?
Yes, police brutality is an issue today, and my sources are your everyday news that there is some form of police brutality happening somewhere in our country.
Would you say that this issue is getting better or worse with time?
Right now, I would say it's getting worse. I feel that we as a country have to address this issue as a whole before it can even begin to get better.
So, wrapping things up today with this final question. With all of this happening constantly, do you find yourself scared of all police officers?
No, I myself do not find myself scared. I find myself more cautious when dealing with any situation involving a police officer.
Big shout out to my mom for coming into our kitchen and having this completely unscripted conversation today. But this, more than anything, illustrates the opinions of some of our citizens and really helps me get a grasp of what the public thinks about the issue. I liked how the first thing she could think of as a contributor was fear. This was not even something I really touched upon, but it's actually true that fear between police and communities is what causes a lot of this. Some other things that stood out to me was the fact that the news really helps get out the issues. But someone like my mother, who has not researched the issue as much as me, thinks of it as an epidemic as well, and also acknowledges the racial aspects that go along with it. It is fair to say, though, that the news gets the known brutality cases publicized so that people can stay aware. It was also nice to hear that she isn't afraid of officers like some people very well are, but even still is a little cautious around police because of the constant paranoia that we have to deal with. There are so many causes of this issue, and it seems like many people, including myself, are worried about the increasing severity as well as the little that is being done to help lessen the issue. It takes change to make change, so unless we start making progress, this problem will just get worse. We need more movements, rallies, and everything you got, and eventually people will be heard. Thank you for listening to my podcast, and I just wanted to give a few shout outs to technical difficulties. There were a lot of them. And also Professor Photos. Good luck at that new school that you're going to. And with that being said, peace out.